The moment God rewrote the rules of blessing church. Lean in because this is heavy truth. Today we're not just reading Genesis 48. We are uncovering a cosmic revelation. The moment God's grace refused to follow man's logic. That word,
bracha,
blessing, it's not a suggestion. It is a divine legislative act. The Zohar calls this the mystery of the crossed hands, acknowledging that this was no grandfather's mistake. Jacob, near death, stood at the zenith of his prophetic power, and his final will became the blueprint for God's eternal election. Welcome to Understanding the Word. I'm Pastor Najam. Section 1. Tradition meets higher law. Joseph walks in with the rule book. He places Manasseh, the older, at Jacob's right hand,
yamin,
the place of strength
koach,
and birthright.
bchora.
This wasn't just custom. This was codified law, confirmed in Deuteronomy 21:17. Even the ancient Nuzi tablets confirm that revering the firstborn required cosmic justification. Joseph, having ruled Egypt, understood hierarchy, but Jacob, blind in the flesh but wide open in the spirit, is fulfilling a higher law. When he crosses his hands, he creates a covenantal loophole. He signs a divine decree over human tradition. Joseph protests, yelling, "Father, no, you're doing it wrong." And Jacob's calm response is the theological heart of the gospel. "I know, my son. I know." This wasn't confusion. This was the declaration that the law of grace always supersedes the law of tradition. Section 2. The Jewish memory behind the moment. Jacob's knowledge was built on the memory of God's consistent behavior. The rabbis teach,
מההסעה אבוא.
Simon Levanim, the deeds of the fathers are signs for the children. Jacob was remembering
הילזגה שכחתה.
salvation history, the golden thread of divine reversal. Abel over Cain, Isaac over Ishmael, Jacob over Esau. God always bypassed the strong, the self-sufficient, and the naturally qualified to ensure that the glory belonged entirely to him. Ephraim, the younger, represents vulnerability and dependence, the perfect vessel for sovereign grace. Jacob wasn't inventing a new rule. He was testifying to the one true God who saved him by grace alone. Section 3. The prophetic adoption. Covenant grafting. The adoption is monumental. Jacob declares, "Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine as Reuben and Simeon are." This is a radical legal maneuver, displacing the eldest sons and giving Joseph the double portion. But spiritually, this is the gospel. Jacob is adopting boys born in a pagan environment, Egypt, and giving them full tribal status. This foreshadows Exodus 4:22, God adopting Israel out of bondage as my son, my firstborn. Hosea 11:1, out of Egypt I called my son. Church, this proves that your birthplace doesn't define your destiny. God takes those raised in the land of bondage and grants them the status of firstborn sons. Section 4. The shape of the hands. The tav as a covenantal seal. Look at the hands. They form the ancient paleo tav, a cross. Tav is the letter of the mark or the seal, and it signifies truth.
אמת.
In Ezekiel 9:4, God commands that the tav be marked on the foreheads of the righteous for protection from judgment, fulfillment. Jacob is drawing the mark of redemption over the boys. He is declaring that this blessing will flow under the seal of salvation. The tav drawn by Jacob's hands is the first prophetic sketch of Calvary. The blessing we receive does not come from our qualification. It flows under the shape of the cross. Section 5. Jacob's I know. The declaration of prophetic empathy. That phrase,
ידעתי בני ידעתי.
I know, my son, I know. In Hebrew, yada, to know, means deep, relational, experiential knowledge. Jacob wasn't defending himself. He was declaring omniscience by participation. He knew because he was there. He remembered the Jabbok wrestle, where he limped into destiny. He remembers the deception of Isaac, proving that divine favor often flows in spite of human error. Jacob's crossed hands are a declaration that God's choice is based on eternal purpose. Romans 11:33, not earthly sight. He is blessing Ephraim from his scars and his memory. Section 6. Ephraim, the fulfilled prophecy. The name
Ephraim.
Ephraim means I will be doubly fruitful. This was no mere hope. It was a divine decree, fulfillment. Ephraim became the birthplace of Joshua, the successor, and the center of the northern kingdom, so much so that prophets called the entire nation Ephraim. Theology. Ephraim proves that God's abundance can turn your land of affliction into a place of double fruitfulness. When God crosses his hands over your life, he is not announcing who you are today. He is announcing who you will become tomorrow. Section 7. The mystery of Manasseh. Honoring the firstborn here is the balance. Manasseh
Manasseh
was not cursed. His name means forgetfulness, representing healing from past pain and stability. Jacob says, "His younger brother shall be greater, but Manasseh also shall become a people, and he also shall be great." God elevates the second by grace, but he honors the first by promise. The tribes of Manasseh produced great leaders like Gideon and Jephthah. This teaches us that you don't need to compare your calling. God honors both the natural strength, Manasseh, and the sovereign favor, Ephraim. Section 8 and 9. The ultimate fulfillment. The cross and the church. Jacob crossed hands over two sons. Jesus crossed arms over two worlds, the new covenant. The cross tore down the dividing wall, Ephesians 2, between Jew and Gentile. Jesus' sacrifice is the ultimate fulfillment of the Tav, the mark of redemption for all nations. Theologia Crucis. This confirms the theology of the cross, that God is found not in human strength and order, but in Christ's weakness and sacrifice. Final truth for you: when Jacob crossed his hands, he was announcing the heart of God for every generation. You are not overlooked. You are adopted. You are not chosen because you are strong. You are chosen because he is sovereign. The same crossed hands that blessed Ephraim point to the cross that has blessed you. Your beginning was Manasseh, past pain. Your becoming is Ephraim, double fruit. God is still crossing his hands for you.